Ladies and gentlemen, Sergeant Rich here. We're starting our fourth podcast, and I told you on the third one that we would be talking about somebody in our government that may, and I use the word may, have committed treason. Now, I say this showing this jacket to begin with. This is a jacket I personally had put together, and I enjoy wearing in the winter months. And if you notice the crest, for those who were in the Army, everybody wears a crest. Cross rifles for infantry, cross pistols for MPs, and this is the crest for military intelligence. Now, I start this broadcast showing you this jacket and this crest for a reason. Let me tell you what the reason is, guys. Let me tell you a little bit about me. My jacket off. All right. From age 19, about age 33, I held a top secret SCI security clearance with the United States government, military intelligence. Now, top secret SCI is the top clearance you can get. They spend a lot of money with the Defense Intelligence Agency doing background checks on us, and it takes months, sometimes up to a year, to get that security clearance. At age 20 years old, as a young PFC, private first class for those who don't know the acronym, I was entrusted with sensitive, compartmentalized information. I knew if I violated that trust in any way, shape, or form, to divulge that information would land me in Leavenworth, without a doubt. However, the reason I tell you about the security clearance and what I did as a young man, from 3 years in active duty and another 9 in the reserves, individual ready reserve, just so you know, and I actually re-enlisted for 6 years in it. Don't ask me why, because I ended up getting called up to Desert Storm and wasn't real happy about going to sleep in the sand for a little bit. But that's a story for another day. I'm no hero. Don't claim to be. Okay. I am claiming, however, to tell you that I am an MI soldier. I will always be an MI soldier. And I'm not ashamed of it. As they used to call us, REMFs, Rear Echelon Mother. You know what the word is. I try not to cuss in the podcast because some my teenage granddaughters, they tend to watch it every now and then. So I want to go and be professional in every way, shape, or form. Now, I tell you about this because, as I said at the end of podcast 3, somebody in our government presently may, and I repeat the word may, I am not saying did. It's up to you, the audience, to make the determination for yourself. But somebody in this country may have committed treason. And I'm going to go and point out who that individual is. So I'm going to share my screen here. And I'm going to go to, where is it at? Right here. Okay. So now, read this. Chinese spy balloon spotted over the western U.S. Read the highlighted yellow. One of the places it was spotted was in Montana, which is the home of the nation's 3 missile silo fields at Mellstrom Air Force Base in Montana. It actually hovered over the base. It didn't fly by because the winds picked it up, and it was a weather balloon just making its way across the continental U.S. It stayed there. It spied on us. Now, don't get me wrong. We have satellites. We do the same thing. They do the same thing. China, Russia, Israel, North Korea even. They all spy. I'm not against spying. I was one, in a sense. Not really. But I did hold security clearance, and I was Big Brother because I was the guy tapping your telephone back in the day, listening to your conversations. Yeah, I know everybody gets all their panties in a ruffle when I say that, but hey, it's fact. NSA listens to everything. Now it's not done with a little guy tapping 21 lines with alligator clips at the telephone company. It's done with countless computers. They pick up on keywords. As you can imagine, you don't want to say bomb and terrorist and Allah Akbar all in the same sentence, because that'll get you flagged and a live body will listen to what you're saying. Now, I should point this out because this is number one. Now, we go on, Texas governor, yada, 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 talks about the Constitution and immigration. Our borders are being flooded, and I'm telling you guys, they had about 100 people that were flagged on the terrorist watch list. I guarantee you thousands of them are entering our country on a monthly, yearly, hell, daily basis. And we're doing nothing to screen them. Heck, there was 3,000 Chinese nationals that were let in last month alone. 3,000. You cannot tell me that some of those 3,000 are not straight up spies. Yes, our border is being flooded by spies, saboteurs, and people who want to do harm to this nation. And we have one person to blame. As I go on, as we see the border crisis, okay? Now we go to good old Hunter Biden. Washington Post, liberal, okay? Not a fan of conservatives. Not saying I am one, not saying I'm not one. Confirms key deals and offers new documentation on Biden's interaction, the Biden family interactions with the Chinese. Read the big bold print here. Biden family selling natural gas to China in 2017 and Joe Biden's involvement. Documents and communications obtained by the committee, that Joe Biden was involved. James Comer of Kentucky, and the head of the committee that is investigating this, called up in Secretary Janet Yellen, Secretary of the Treasurer, to provide all suspicious activity reports for the Biden family transaction with Chinese entities. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I have an open source. You can check it. There's 150 suspicious activity. That means financial transaction just for Hunter Biden alone, with his dealings with Ukraine, China, Russia, you name it. Bad guys. We are concerned the president may have compromised national security in his dealings with the country most adverse to the U.S. interests, China. Guys, compromised national security in his dealings with China. His, meaning Joe Biden, the president of the United States. Now, I'm not saying, again, that he's committed treason, but let's look up a couple of things here on treason. Definition, noun. The crime of betraying one's country. 3 elements of treason: an obligation of allegiance to the legal order, and the intent and action to violate that obligation. An obligation, ladies and gentlemen, to secure the border, to not let spies in our country, to not let a Chinese spy balloon fly for 6 days across the United States, going over sensitive military and civilian industrial complexes, and sending all the information back to China. Strengthen an opposing force to a government or sovereign. Strengthening an opposing force. You don't think that spy balloon is not strengthening China, our opposing force? I don't know. You tell me. You're reading the definitions straight out of Webster. You're seeing this, okay? Guys, this has got to stop. I'm putting my Patriot hat on now. And yes, it's the New England Patriots. And yes, I grew up in Connecticut. I'm a Patriots fan, even though I'm in California. I heard from Robert Kraft today that Brady is going to sign a one-day contract to retire as a Patriot. Hallelujah. Greatest of all time. You see the footballs in the background. That's the white one is autographed by Tom Brady. And the brown one I got at the Pro Bowl in 1994 with a picture of Drew Bledsoe. I love Drew Bledsoe. I was bummed when he got hurt and Brady took over. But at least he got a Super Bowl ring. And he didn't have a great career after that. But he was a fantastic quarterback. And it's a crying shame he got hurt. And Brady became the GOAT because of it. Okay? That's football. It happens. But I'm wearing a Patriot hat to tell you I am a Patriot. I would never betray my country in any way, shape, or form. I would not reveal secret documents so that the enemy could use it against us. Joe Biden allowed a spy balloon 60,000 feet above our country for 6 days. He's been compromised. He is allowing spying because he's compromised. Now, I'm not saying treason, but you read the definitions. It's your decision. That's all I'm telling you. But I've laid out, let's say, some facts, and they're facts. My God, it's the Washington Post. It's your paper, guys. If you're a liberal, listen to this. That's your paper. And they're saying it. And I'm telling you guys, I don't know if it's going to get swept under the rug. Obviously, they're not going to take him out back and convict him of treason because Merrick Garland will never allow that. But I'm telling you, I'm leaving this to you. Tell me, do you think that's treason? I don't know. The question is yours to answer. That being said, Sergeant Rich signing off. If you need to talk to me, please email me at sergeantrich@oldarmysergeant.com. That's sergeantrich@oldarmysergeant.com. Peace and love. Have a great day.